I started my rugby career in 1997 during my first year of law school, or at the end of my first year of law school. I was training to play or to walk onto the Wisconsin Badgers basketball team, and I met a young lady at a rugby, at a law school party. She invited me to come out to play rugby, and I'd never heard of rugby. It was pretty interesting. She characterized it as being similar to football and soccer and basketball all rolled into one. So I took the grain of salt, and I ended up being in the area where the team was practicing the following week. I dropped by, went out, started practicing with the team, and fell in love with it. I didn't know the rules, I didn't know any of the laws, I didn't really know the strategy that they were employing, but I knew I loved the element of tackle, which was very, resembled football greatly. I loved running with the ball, and I loved the challenge of breaking through people. As a little girl, I'd always aspired to play football, and I was never really allowed to play football. And so that was the significance of the first practice for me. It was really close to the end of the season, so I decided that I would, go back in the fall and play with the team, and that's absolutely what I did. And that was again 1997. By 1999, I was on the U.S. women's national team. I debuted in Lake Placid, actually, during a time that I was actually recruited by the U.S. bobsled team, which is ironic. But played with the team, played in my first Rugby World Cup in 2002, and at the conclusion of the World Cup, I was invited to travel with an all-world team, I guess based on some glimpses of my performances at the 2002 World Cup. I was regarded as one of the top players in the world. So I traveled to New Zealand, played with this all-world team against the then and now reigning world champions, the New Zealand Black Ferns. It was a great experience, and continued on with my play. After that World Cup, after the 2002 World Cup, I moved from Wisconsin, or from the Chicago area, to New York City in hopes of playing with one of the top tier, top 4 teams in the country at the time, which was the New York Rugby Club. And I played with them. I moved positions from prop, which is what I played in Wisconsin, and in the first World Cup to flanker, which was what's been my position since. Played flanker 2006 World Cup with a broken foot, and had a great tournament. Our team performed very, very well. U.S. team performed very, very well. And I ended up at that point again being recognized as one of the top players in the world, along with 2 other teammates, which was pretty spectacular. And continued to play. At that point in 2006, I was recruited by the U.S. Sevens team to come play Sevens, which is now the sport or the form of rugby that is in the Olympics for 2016. And traveled to, Barbados for my first stint with the U.S. Sevens team. We traveled to the Bahamas. I went to Dubai. Played several venues with the Sevens team. I loved Sevens. It was a much faster game. But for me, I was a relatively bigger player compared to some of the other girls. It was awesome because I wasn't it was outmanned in some respects, some of my opponents. 2009 arrived, and that was the first World Cup, 2009 came along. That was the first Sevens World Cup. I was one of the first professionally paid female players in the U.S. Working in the pool to get to the World Cup. I was unfortunately cut from the team shortly before the World Cup, and it left me in a really dark place, to be honest. What I was able to do was I pulled it together. I started practicing, started training again for 15s, and in 2010 I played in my 3rd World Cup, which was held in England. Over the last few years, I think a big part of me has been to get over that being cut from the sevens team. And my way of trying to get over it and prove to myself that I am the athlete that I think I am, and to other people. I've pursued other sports like CrossFit, like bobsled, even to the point of putting my life on hold for the last year to pursue bobsled. And what bobsled led me to was an incredible amount of self-realization, looking, essentially putting my demons in front of me and being able to understand the things that I really needed to attack in order to be the athlete that I thought I was or thought I could be. And I didn't make the U.S. Olympic bobsled team. I did make the U.S. developmental team, which was awesome, over the course of 11 months. But most importantly, I gained this new insight of what I needed to do and what my capabilities are. And I've since then started to pursue them.
So what are you raising for in this campaign for 2016?
I am raising money to, number one, be able to train and work in more of a part-time capacity. I'm raising money to go to California to actually try out with the team. I'm raising money to pay a couple of coaches, one Al Caravelli, who's a former U.S. Sevens coach for the men's team, to work with me on skills so that I can, number one, recreate my role as a player. Not to be this big player that was known for running over people, but to be a very savvy player with finesse, player with an incredible amount of skills, and an unpredictable player. I'm raising money to hire a nutritionist, which is one of the biggest components to what I need to do. I have to drop 20 pounds, and I need to do it scientifically. And once I've accomplished, or actually I need to drop about 12 pounds now, and I need to do it without losing muscle, without losing strength, and essentially elevate my ability to produce the types of speed and have the speed endurance required as a sevens player at the Olympic level to make that happen. I need it for supplements. Proper supplementation is key. I guess the most important thing is the coaching, getting the coaching, working with my strength and conditioning coach on a regular basis. It's inevitable that as a rugby player, it's not football, so I'm not playing in a professional league, so I have to work every day. And I'm a partner in a health club, which is, it's good in some respects, but we're also in a place where a lot of time is required, and a lot of my time is required in making health club successful. So to be able to step away some and train and essentially support my very minuscule, minimal lifestyle would be awesome. The money would really come in handy.